and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Midday News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Queen Agaba. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and free to air on Nigecomsat. The Nigerian Air Force has commenced an investigation into allegations of accidental civilian casualties during an airstrike in the Zurmi local government area of Zamfara State. The Air Force had in a statement highlighted the success of the operation, which reportedly eliminated key allies of notorious terrorist kingpin Bello Turji and rescued kidnapped hostages. The incident, which occurred on Friday during Operation Fasanyama operation targeting bandits terrorizing the region, reportedly left 16 residents, including members of the Zamfara Community Protection Guard and local vigilantes, mistakenly killed in the air raid. The Nigeria Governors Forum's Health Sector Expenditure and Institutional Review report showed that 36 states depend on external funding for 16% of their health budgets. The state-level report noted that state governments depend on 16% of their health budgets from external sources, including aid, grants, and loans. Grant and international aid programs were the primary sources of non-discretionary capital funding for most states, with less than a quarter of them seeking loan options to finance their capital projects in the sector. The report attributed the low uptake to limitations in securing loans or disinterest in pursuing the above financing options. The Federal Fire Service has disclosed that an estimated property loss of 67.1 billion naira was recorded in 2024 as a result of fire outbreaks. In a statement by the service, quoting the service's Controller General Abdul Ganiu Jaji, while addressing a press conference in Abuja, added that no fewer than 100 deaths as a result of fire outbreaks were also recorded within the same period. Jaji, however, says the service saved property worth 1.94 trillion naira last year. The chairman, Association for the Advancement of Family Planning in Nigeria, Dr. Ejike Oji, has said that family planning is a panacea to multidimensional poverty, urging Nigerians to embrace family planning for quality living in all ramifications. Speaking in an interview in Abuja, the medical practitioner who blamed the increase in insurgency and insecurity on a lack of family planning expressed his optimism about the capability of family planning to reduce multidimensional poverty. He alleged that many of the terrorists or insurgents in the country were children born without planning. He therefore called on government at all levels to produce policies that would encourage family planning locally and nationally. The troops of Sector 2 of the Joint Task Force Northwest Operation Fasanyama have successfully dismantled terrorist hideouts in Fakai area, Shinkafi local government area of Zamfara State. This is contained in a statement issued by the Gusau, in Gusau by the coordinator, Joint Media Coordination Center, Operation Fasanyama, Lieutenant Colonel Abubakar Abdullahi. According to the statement, the operation will continue to pursue and utilize all terrorist elements within its joint operation area, warning all terrorist kingpins and their associates to surrender and renounce violence unconditionally as the troops remained committed to eradicating their threats. Former Kano State Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice, M.A. Lawan, has clarified the recent Court of Appeal judgment regarding the Kano Emirate dispute, stating that Aminu Ado Bayero remains the legitimate emir. Lawan refuted the Kano State government's interpretation of the ruling, stressing that the Court of Appeal issued two separate judgments. Lawan explained in a statement that one judgment overturned the Federal High Court ruling on jurisdiction in a suit filed by Kingmaker Aminu Baba Dan Agundi, stressing that the judgment did not validate the Kano State government's action regarding chieftaincy appointment and the 2024 Emirate Council law. Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde has presented the staff of office to the new Alaafin of Oyo, Abimbola Akeem Owoade. The governor presented the official instrument legitimizing the reign of a king to the new monarch at the Exco Chamber of the governor's office in Ibadan, the state capital, amid controversy concerning the choice of the new Alaafin announced by the governor last week. The symbolic event was performed nearly 3 years after the death of the former Alaafin Lamidi Adeyemi III. The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON, has announced the approval of 4 airlines to airlift pilgrims for the 2025 Hajj. This was contained in a statement signed by the Assistant Director of Information and Publication for the Commission, Fatima Usara. The statement said the selection process was conducted by a 32-member aviation screening committee inaugurated on November 26, 2024 by the Commission's chairman, Professor Abdullahi Usman. President Bola Tinubu arrived in Abu Dhabi, the United Arab Emirates, for the Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week. President Tinubu's trip to the Middle East is at the invitation of the President of the United Arab Emirates, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. Special Assistant to the President on social media, Dada Olusegun, announced the President's arrival in a post on his X page, stating that the President is expected to deliver a speech highlighting his administration's key reforms, particularly in energy efficiency, transportation, public health, and economic development. In a different development, Nigeria's military personnel have been completely prohibited from engaging in homosexuality, lesbianism, bestiality, cross-dressing, and other acts deemed contrary to the ethics of the armed forces. This directive is contained in Section 26 of the revised Harmonized Armed Forces Terms and Conditions of Service signed by President Bola Tinubu on December 16, 2024. Similarly, personnel are barred from body piercing, tattooing, disorderly behavior, and drunkenness on or off duty. The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, has filed a lawsuit against President Bola Tinubu's administration and Nigeria's 36 state governors at the ECOWAS Community Court of Justice in Abuja. The suit challenges the alleged misuse of the Cybercrimes Act 2024 to suppress freedom of expression and violate human rights, particularly those of activists, journalists, bloggers, and social media users. In a statement issued by SERAP's Deputy Director, Kolawole Oluwadari, explained that the provisions of the amended act remain vague, arbitrary, and repressive, enabling authorities to criminalize legitimate expression and restrict media freedom. The House of Representatives has taken a step to strengthen anti-corruption fights with the introduction of a bill to encourage whistleblowers to expose corrupt practices, particularly in the public health sector. In the public sector. The bill, which proposes a fine of 2 million naira or 2 years imprisonment for disclosing a piece of confidential information provided by a whistleblower, may be considered as lawmakers are set to debate its general principles upon resumption of plenary duty next week. You're watching live broadcast of Midday News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation. Many thanks for staying with us. If you've just joined us, this is Midday News on Global Television. In business, Nigeria's daily average oil production rose by 7.38% year-on-year in December 2024 to 1.667 million barrels per day from 1.552 million barrels per day, including condensate recorded over the corresponding period in 2023. The Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, NUPRC, in its latest oil production data, however, indicated that on a month-on-month basis, daily average oil output in December 2024 declined by 1.35% from 1.690 million barrels per day recorded in November 2024 to 1.667 million barrels per day. Data from the Commission also indicated that daily peak oil production in December 2024 was 1.79 million barrels per day, while the lowest daily production was 1.5 million barrels per day, and cumulatively oil output in December 2024 was 51.69 million barrels, a marginal increase of 1.9% when compared to 50.71 million barrels produced in November 2024. The Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, NUPRC, has said that the implementation of the Advanced Cargo Declaration Solution and the engineering audit of upstream measurement equipment and facilities will enhance transparency and accountability in the oil and gas sector. In a statement, the NUPRC says the initiatives, which will track the movement of crude being exported out of the country, are being executed in collaboration with Pline Energy and PE Energy Limited, as well as identify gaps in production and allocation measurement, and implement targeted interventions to enhance metering infrastructure. According to NUPRC, the Advanced Cargo Declaration Solution, to be carried out by Pline Energy, will track crude oil transportation and exports from Nigeria, while engineering audits of upstream measurement equipment and facilities done by PE Energy Limited will establish reliable baseline for all measurement points. The Federal Capital Territory Internal Revenue Service, FCT IRS, has urged private companies, governments, ministries, departments and agencies and other employers of labor in the territory to file their employee annual tax returns for 2024. The acting executive chairman, Michael Ango, who made the call in a statement in Abuja, says the employers have up to January 31st to comply. In a statement signed by the service's head of corporate communications, Mustafa Somaila, the FCT IRS boss says the returns should be filed using the prescribed forms provided by the service, which he says was in compliance with Section 81 of the Personal Income Tax Act 2011, as amended, and the pay-as-you-earn regulations. The National Agricultural Development Fund, NAFD, has signed a contract agreement valued at $70 million for the direct procurement of 2,000 John Deere tractors. NAFD was mandated by the Federal Executive Council to spearhead the deployment of 10,000 John Deere tractors across Nigeria, with an initial rollout of 2,000 units scheduled for the first and second quarter of 2025, and to scale it up to 10,000 over the next 5 years. The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Abubakar Kyari, who witnessed the signing of the agreement between NAFD and ACOMS International Training Center, the legal dealers of John Deere tractors in Abuja, disclosed that on October 2024, the Federal Executive Council approved the direct procurement of 2,000 tractors, 100 combined harvesters, among other mechanized implements. On the foreign scene, officials have said that tens of thousands of people forced from their homes by enormous fires raking Los Angeles will not be able to return for at least 4 days. Frustrated evacuees have formed lines at checkpoints, hoping to get into no-go zones barricaded off amid the Palisades fire and the Eaton fire. Many are desperate to get back to homes they had to flee with just a few moments' notice to pick up medicines or clothes they did not have a chance to grab, while others simply want to find out if their houses have survived. But Los Angeles County Fire Chief Anthony Marone says that gusting winds forecast this week mean the fire emergency is far from over. South Korean authorities have disclosed that they will change the concrete barriers used for navigation at airports around the country after the Jeju air crash that left 179 people dead. The Land Ministry say in a statement improvement was deemed necessary, including the localizer and its foundations for a total of 9 facilities across 7 airports, including 1 airport, adding that the change would also apply to international airports in the cities of Jeju and Gimhae. The ministry say it would finalize plans to adopt the localizers by the end of January with the aim of completing upgrades within the year after the barrier at Muan Airport was blamed for exacerbating the crash's severity. South Korea's Corruption Investigation Office for high-ranking officials has announced that it has requested the Defense Ministry and the Presidential Security Service to cooperate ahead of its second attempt to arrest impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol. According to Yonhap news agency, the CIO sent official letters urging compliance and cautioning against potential legal consequences for non-cooperation. In its letter to the Defense Ministry, the CIO warned that any soldier obstructing the execution of arrests, warrants or searches of the presidential residence could face criminal charges or claims for damages if human or material harm occurs. Mozambique is set to swear in its new parliament following months of deadly protest over an election in October that the opposition say was rigged. Opposition leader Venancio Mondlane has called on his supporters to hold peaceful protests from Monday to Wednesday when Daniel Chapo is due to be installed as president. Mondlane claims he won the presidential vote, that the results were rigged in favor of Chapo's Frelimo party, which had been in power for over 50 years. In sports, the newly appointed Secretary General of the Athletics Federation of Nigeria, AFN, Israel Inwang, has stated that he wants a united family for the nation's track and field to achieve more success in the years ahead. Inwang, who replaced Rita Mosindi as AFN Secretary General after the National Sports Commission reassigned Secretary Generals and sports officers to reposition national sports federations, say the time to come together is now. Juventus are reportedly on the verge for finalizing a deal for Portuguese right-back Alberto Costa with an official We apologize for that break in transmission. In tennis, 2-time Grand Slam runner-up Stefanos Tsitsipas has aired his frustration after being at the end of the first big upset of the Australian Open, with the worst part having to hang around before his next tournament. The 11th seeded Greek, who played Novak Djokovic in the 2023 final at Melbourne Park, crashed out 7-5, 6-3, 2-6, 6-4 to American Alex Michelsen in the first round. He says the most frustrating part about losing in the first round of a Grand Slam is that one has way too much time to recover, and he would rather have the other way around, where he does not have enough time to recover. Now in basketball, the Los Angeles Lakers and Clippers were preparing for a return to NBA action as firefighters continue to battle massive blazes that have killed at least 16 people and left thousands without homes. The NBA had postponed the Lakers game against the Charlotte Hornets on Thursday and postponed Lakers and Clippers home games on Saturday, saying they didn't want to divert resources from the wildfire response, but both teams were preparing to host games on Monday. The Lakers against the San Antonio Spurs and the Clippers against the Miami Heat. The Lakers announced they were launching a donation drive at their upcoming games with fans encouraged to bring food and non-food items for distribution to those affected by the fire.